story.
Hi everyone. Just killing a little bit of time. Got a little bit of a break during work. It's really pretty but really ominous. I don't think you can really... There you go. See that? It's beautiful but ominous. I'm really wiped out. Fortunately, after I get off work, I don't know why I do this a lot. I've noticed I do that in videos. It's like I'm getting there. I don't know. I don't know why I do half the things I do, but I am so wiped out. My eyes have been really itchy the last couple of days, not due to allergies or anything, but just from constantly being on my computer, which I know is not good for you, but I've been just diving head on into this Kyron Horman situation pretty much every moment the last several days, aside from being at work and trying to spend some quality time with my girl. It's been I'm literally going through every resource that I can find on the case, so I know I have everything I can get, because it's an ongoing investigation. Obviously there's going to be lots of things I don't know, so I want to get as much of what I can know as possible, and I hope this gentle breeze that's coming and going is not messing with my audio. And some people might be wondering, last year I did a video. Security person's probably gonna tell me I can't be back here. They should know who I am by now. But yeah, last year I did a documentary on like a famous unsolved murder in Portland, and I put a lot of time, put months into it, busted out my really good camera, interviewed people, and I could see people kind of wondering, well, why aren't you doing it? That guy almost wiped out. Like I put so much time into that and making it look, like a real solid documentary. And some people may be wondering, if you're going to put so much time into this, and it's such a big story, it's something that I could get attention for, why not make it more of a big documentary like that and premiere it in theaters and get your name recognized, which obviously I want to do as a up-and-coming, at least trying to be up-and-coming filmmaker. But first of all, if I was to do that, I'd have to interview people, and there's not really anybody involved in this case I really want to interview. A lot of people that you try to interview aren't going to talk about it. Other people are, like if I try to talk to police, they're not going to tell me any more than what's already known. Any questions I ask to get any more information, it's going to be, I can't tell you that, it's part of an ongoing investigation. Especially with the fact that there's been kind of a bump in, oh, here comes another gust, but there's been kind of a bump in terms of what's been going on with this case. They've had news searches, they're re-looking at evidence and whatnot, so in particular right now it's an even more of a kind of revived case. And this is my own personal investigation into this thing, and I'm not interested. I'm not doing this to get my name known, okay? If I was, I would go that, that bigger, more high-end documentary route. But I want to do something that's more in the vein of what I've been doing, because I'm more comfortable doing that, which means I can perform better, I can put it together better. I actually like some of the more quickly put together documentary things I've done specifically for my YouTube channel more than this one that I put a lot of time into. I mean, I'm obviously not making this to get attention, I'm going to be posting it on my YouTube, which has fewer than 500 subscribers. My average video does maybe about 100 views, so I'm certainly not doing it for the notoriety. I'm doing it because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of stuff that's not making it, it's kind of hidden in the cracks. There's not really a lot of investigative stuff on YouTube about this case. It's just a lot of old news interviews and things like that, and then people doing just kind of story videos about it, which I like. It keeps the story alive, but they kind of just talk about the same information, and there's lots of stuff that doesn't ever get talked about. So I want to dive more into that, and I have theories about this that I'm obviously not going to talk about too much, because, well, then I'm spoiling what it's about. So obviously I'm not doing this to garner massive attention, but more to go deeper into the case. And there's a lot of things about this case that I haven't seen discussed. Doesn't mean somebody hasn't brought it up to somebody, doesn't mean it doesn't exist in some format of another out there in the internet somewhere, but to this point these are things that I haven't seen addressed, so I want to bring them up. That's a really big part of this. There's lots of little things that I feel like are observations that I haven't seen anybody else make, and maybe they're things police have considered, but we don't know everything that they're thinking. So I feel like, and this last week of really delving back into this stuff, and I found over 50 pages of notes I'd taken a couple years ago that fortunately I cited the sources and all that, so I know where they came from. But I have a lot of this information, and I'm finally really at that place where I actually kind of have a pretty serious theory that I believe compared to all others. Obviously there's so much still to be known. We don't even know whether Kyron Horman is dead or alive at this time. I personally, if I'm being honest, I personally feel like he is deceased, and he probably died not long after he disappeared, which unfortunately is the case most of the time when children vanish. That doesn't mean that I think there's absolutely no hope, but logistically that's where I stand. But that being said, I at no time when I'm theorizing am I going to say this is what happened. At no time am I going to say anything is a fact unless it has been proven a fact and expressed as such by, certain sources, obviously reliable ones, not just necessarily, people posting on a blog, someone, or on a forum saying, hey, I saw this, da 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 da, I know who it was, just, I'm not going to say something is factual unless it's known to be fact. And you'll obviously be able to decipher what is just facts, details I'm presenting, and then what are theories. Because I have my pretty solid theory that I go with at this time and place, and I'm not done investigating. That theory could change entirely, which is why I'm not really trying to formulate the film yet, because things could definitely change. I could find some major resource, some facts that I haven't found yet. Just in the last week, I found that. Numerous facts. So I have my working theory, I guess is what you call it right now, but I'm also going to address a lot of other theories that I think absolutely didn't happen, that actually other people have put some credence into, but then other theories that have kind of just popped into my head that are pretty unlikely and probably not theories people want to really consider, but I'm still going to mention them for the sake of the possibility that maybe, 5,000 to 1 odds this happened. So there's a lot of stuff to address. I don't know, I really want to make it one video, but if it ends up being very in-depth and just a lot of stuff gets thrown into it, I might end up having to make this a two-part thing. If this ends up being 2.5, 3 hours, then I'm gonna have to draw the line somewhere in terms of one video. And you make like a 4-hour documentary about something, and it can kind of knock people on their back. So it's nice to give them a lot of info and then let them breathe for a second and then come back with the final collection of stuff. So thinking about it now in retrospect, that's probably what I'm gonna do, unless this ends up only being like an hour and a half, but I really don't know. I can't say anything. I can't say how long it's going to be. I can't even ballpark for you how long this is going to be, because I don't even know how it's all going to come together yet. Very early stages. Anyway, I just wanted to, I did the general video that was just like, hey, I'm making a video, but I was also like falling asleep and it was like almost 2 in the morning, so I wanted to just get back in touch with you guys when I'm a little bit more conscious, and just kind of giving you a rundown of how this thing's gonna come around and where I'm going with it, and how this isn't just me trying to shove my ego and my opinions down everyone's throat just because some other people have chosen to do it, just because it's a high profile case. I know a lot of people are like, probably gonna be like, oh wow, really, Kyron Horman? Like, what about the other, extensive number of kids that have gone missing, specifically from Oregon, since then? And that's a valid concern. I'm not doing this just because it's a high-profile missing children's case. I'm doing it because this got my attention from the moment it happened. All right, and I was already researching it and talking about it and looking into this when it was relatively new. I had no idea it was going to blow up into the thing it was and still keep people's attention as much as it does now. So I'm not just jumping in on something that was already big. I was invested in this thing from the beginning. So I'm not shoving myself in there. So this is very close to my heart and really important to me, and I'm going to try to be as objective and honest about it and direct as possible without pissing too many people off. Although in a system like this, no matter what your theory is, you're going to piss somebody off along the way. And hopefully we can all just be adults about this, because this isn't about us, it's about Kyron. And we can just, utilize our perspectives and whatnot in a positive light to be helpful, instead of just browbeating each other like any of that matters. So anyway, that all said, Steve the Amateur Story, and catch you later.